Chinese social media influencer living in Taiwan has had her residency revoked.
This is your favorite half Chinese, and yes, you heard it correctly. Her residency has been revoked by the government in Taiwan, and the reason is because she made use of freedom of speech. And what I find weird is that none of the Western people that are constantly criticizing mainland China for having a lack of freedom of speech are now all of a sudden all silent. And yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it is also because the Western media is not going to show you this in their media because they do not want you to know how it actually is going in the rest of the world a lot of times. And you can see it very clearly with these kind of things. Because if China was doing this, then it would be all over the news. If the tables were turned around, right? It would be all over the news. And it would be, oh, we must sanction China and yada, yada, freedom of speech, freedom, democracy. And now, exactly. And that is bewildering every time. But let's see what else they have to say.
Authorities say she poses a national security threat because of pro-unification videos she posted online.
Yes, so she is talking a lot about unification, reunification. I'm not sure if she really is pro or not. I couldn't make that really up of her videos, but she is just saying what is actually going on. And she's also showing to the people living in Taiwan what China's standpoint is on certain issues considering this. And I think if you live in a democracy, then it is necessary to know all the sides before you decide on a certain issue. So if any government in the world does not allow you to listen or to speak about the other side, then you actually have come into a state of fascism and democracy has been undermined. So, yeah, you need to have different opinions to be able to make an educated choice. Everybody can agree on that, right? But this is what we are supporting. And I also hear nobody from the West saying this is outrageous. But I am 100% sure if it was the other way around, if China or the mainland of China would revoke the residency of a Taiwanese girl because she was speaking about maybe reunification or not reunification, whatever it is, then the whole world would blow up and the media would be a media circus, right? Let's be honest here. Anyway, continue.
Cadence Caranta has been following this story and joins us now from our newsroom. Cadence, how is the government able to take away someone's residency like this?
Yeah, so as you said, this is about a Chinese influencer known as Yaya in Taiwan. She has a Taiwanese residency card because she's married to a Taiwanese citizen and she lives in Taiwan, but importantly, she's not a Taiwanese citizen. And the Taiwan's Immigration Bureau has said that she's posted videos on social media advocating for the unification of China and Taiwan with the use of force. And if you look at her social media, a lot of her videos are about cross-strait issues and unification.
So she's not advocating for a reunification with force. I've watched the video. I also watched the video that they are using in it. I cannot play it because it got music in the background and I don't want to have a copy strike. So what she was actually saying in the video that they are using in their clip was basically saying about what the standpoint of or what China can do. When would China use force for reunification and when not? And those standpoints are very clear, right? It is if they declare independence or if external forces, that means other countries, are pushing Taiwan into independence, then the People's Republic of China would use military force to forcefully reunite. If none of these things happen, then they have said it. They can wait 100 years for peaceful reunification. It's fine. So that is actually what she was talking about. It was also a little bit about the new law about a separatist that are now liable for by the law of China. And therefore, China has actually reserved the right to actually come in with the military to arrest people, etc., and use force. So that is what she was talking about. She was not talking about that there needs to be military force or whatsoever. That's just not true. So the reasons that they are giving are just, straight out not true. This is her YouTube channel, and as you can see, it is really not that many followers. She got less followers than me. She got 722 followers. And you throwing her out of the country because she dares to speak her mind on YouTube? That's outrageous, if you ask me. In the West, everybody is talking about constantly, freedom of speech, especially when it considers China. And Taiwan is the democracy. And we must support them because they're like, well, now you people see what is really going on. This news didn't come from me. This is the news from Taiwan. And they are actually revoking this girl her residence. And mind you, she is married. She has a family in Taiwan. So they literally are separating a family because she dares to speak her mind. And she dares to show to the people in Taiwan what the mainland actually is saying and what they could or could not do. She was also speaking on a video. I saw that video. I thought it was a really, really important video. And that was about the schooling system in Taiwan. Now, she says, not me, she says that the history of China is being erased in schools. And I think that's very, very troublesome, because if we are looking from a political standpoint, and if we are looking at textbook fascism, that is actually a part of textbook fascism, is erasing the old history and replacing it with a new history. So what happens because of that is that the Chinese are losing their identity. So you could actually basically make a case, in my opinion, it's my opinion, not a statement, that it is about erasing culture, what she was talking about. And that is something that needs to be addressed. And I think everybody in the West would agree with me. And especially since we are accusing other nations left and right from doing exactly that. But I hardly hear them about our so-called friends. So I hope people will try to speak up about these matters, or at least do their own research and look into it and speak about it. Because this is not a good thing if you are erasing people their history and replacing it with another history. That is actually textbook fascism, from straight out from the book from Mussolini, because that's kind of what he said. I cannot quote because I don't have the entire quote in my head, but you just erase the old history and you replace it with a new so-called glorious one to create a new national identity. That's textbook fascism. But that national identity is actually based upon lies, right? So they all of a sudden want to glorify other nations and defy China, which is actually their heritage. And if that is happening, I'm not saying that it is happening, but if that is happening, then that's a very, very bad case. And that is what she was speaking about. Now, I think that everybody would agree with me that if you live in a country and you bring your kids to school and you notice these kind of things, like, hey, they are trying to erase our history, that we would talk about it, right? And if you have the possibility nowadays with the internet, we would talk about it online. So should that be reasons to revoke people their residence and just separate an entire family? Let me know in the comment section what you all think of this. But please keep it respectful. We're not uncivilized barbarians. And just let everybody have their speak. We are also not going to be fascist. We're going to be decent, for freedom of speech, democratic, and just civilized. All right? Can we do that? We can do that. I know I can. And I know that you can too. So, have a great day. This was your favorite Half Chinese. Please like, share, and if you have not yet, then follow. And as always, have a great day.